Hi friends, welcome back to Dergy Playin any other Sonic files. Last time, this boy was a sus-ass motherfucker, and, his dream made me facepalm eternally, constantly. But, I mean, I say sus, but he obviously didn't do, the crimes. I was about to say anything bad. That is wrong. You know, like, for example, abandoning her. Especially because, like, she has had a fear of abandonment forever. Probably because of the way that her parents essentially abandoned her to an acquaintance. Like, think about that. I've never heard about that level of non-parenting in real life. So, as per usual, fuck Oda. But, it better news that it doesn't involve Oda, and that's a lot of why it's better. But the other reason why it's better is this news involves Mizuki actually joining us, and she's very happy about it. Like, look at her, man. She's actually smiling. She doesn't fucking smile. She just wasn't getting anything she really needed throughout most of this game, and she wasn't processing the grief at all. This, like, she feels like she's actually doing something about it, which is really important for her right now, obviously. She's really fucking smart, so she knows she could be of some help. And I know for a fact that she's gonna help, because she's really observant, and such in ways that I would say that Date isn't. I feel like if she doesn't figure out something major by herself, without Date's help at all, I will feel like that is not good characterization. Especially because I would say Uchikoshi's really, really good at writing smart characters and figure a lot of things on their own. A la Fi. Also, she has a whole game to herself after this, where she's the main character, and I'm kind of excited for that game. Fucking Christ, I want to play AI2 already. We need to get through the rest of this one first, so I'm just gonna not digress anymore and just do. Okay. So we have a lot of fucking leads, holy shit. This kind of feels like the whole case is opening up. Like, this might be the true route, but if that's true, I highly doubt we're literally going towards the true ending right now. There's too many blocks that I haven't cleared. But either way, I'm excited. So where are we going next? I'm really proud that I didn't really do a Ramblintro there. Like, at all. And I'm really proud of that. I'm so proud of it I said it twice, and technically 3 times now. Anyway, we're gonna go back to the hospital, because Oda should be back there, right? Pretty sure, yes. But I just realized the first thing I was going to do was verify that Mayumi doesn't have an injury on her leg. Oh yeah. I forgot, because I was just so excited to get to more of this game. I forgot to mention my theory about last time, so there is a small Ramblintro here, and then we'll really get things going. Besides, I think you guys like my theories, or you wouldn't stick around so much, because they're a big chunk of this whole thing. And by the way, there's at least 10 of you that seem to watch, and I'm really grateful for all of you. What I'm thinking is, yeah, Mayumi did not do it. She's not mentally sound and probably physically strong enough either to do all of this. Where would she have gotten the polar bear costume? In her state, knowing she has dementia, it doesn't add up. So what I think happened is the killers have been pretty good at always trying to frame it on someone else. Like, always having some sort of very well-thought-out seeming plan in order to frame someone for each murder. Mizuki was framed for Mizuki's mom with that text from Renju, or probably actually Renju, unfortunately, because he seems to have been forced by the Yakuza with blackmail to do a bunch of stuff, or something. We still don't know what the hell was up with Renju, especially now, because, like, the progress we've been making at the moment has all involved stuff after his death on this branch here. I think I remember there was an Iris death without a Renju death at some point earlier, and Renju died earlier in this route, and while Iris can die on this route, she's still alive right now because they did attempt to kill her, but it didn't happen. What I'm thinking is, you know how when Renju sent her alone in his car? I think it's in order to keep her from getting killed. And then because he did that, and because he was blackmailed into letting them kill her, they killed him instead. Whoever they is. And I'm thinking they right now is the Yakuza and So. Aiba has confirmed that So's men are more heavily armed than the Yakuza right now. So I think So is actually headlining most of the criminal acts that are going on right now, and I'm very about all that. But yeah, I'm thinking what happened was he framed. Again, I said he, like I know it's So. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's some kind of red herring, but what I know is Mayumi has to be a red herring. At least I'm pretty hopeful about that, and I'm hoping she didn't end up doing that just out of sheer derangement. But I really don't think so. The more that I think about the facts of the case, basically every murder has been like that first one I just talked about, where framing occurred, and it was very deliberate, and it seems to involve intimate knowledge about the characters, which, That's a bit me, actually, if I think about So being the one. Because, like, he doesn't know any of us personally. The live stream was obviously in order to frame Oda, like, they knew exactly what he was going to do, so that's very, Like, that seems like they have some sort of Esper-ass shit, which, of course, I wouldn't put past Uchikoshi, but I kind of doubt that's what's going on in this game. But, you know what? They, the killers, or the killer in that case, might have some sort of AI assistance as well. Because you know how Aiba has gotten Date out of 2 different hairy situations right now by directing him to do some really nuts shots that worked because she was able to calculate things so quickly? Yeah, I think it might have been kind of like that. Like the way that they've been able to pull off some of this stuff, like knowing somehow that the way Oda would react so they could frame him with this murder-suicide thing instead of tying it to anyone else. Actually, Oda is predictable. All he thinks about is Iris. I guess I wouldn't put it past a lot of people to be able to predict that, the more I think about it. And like the way they set up the shot, and like the way that they fought him, they probably just made sure that he was off camera at the right times, and that they were off camera at the right times in order to frame him like this so that it seems... Wait, there was at least one point where he pushed the bear aside, right? I don't remember right now, like on camera, so that would actually kind of not make sense for that. But either way, what I'm thinking is at the very least they tried to frame Oda in that case, and there's just been a constant framing thing. So again, they had some really clever ways to frame everything, and the reason I'm saying all this is, well, I think they framed Mayumi here. I really feel like for some reason there's some villain who knows what people are going to do, somehow, in many cases, or they're able to think on their feet really well, and so what's happening is, part of their murder plan is, okay, first I need to figure out how to frame this on the person, and then execute the rest of it. So in the case of the polar bear thing, you know, the chocolate, Mayumi, and everything, what if, like, I don't know, they might have been aware about Mayumi's whereabouts, somehow, in some way, they might have been following them, who knows, whoever they are, and they might have known Mayumi had dementia, even. Either way, everything from leaving the chocolate to perhaps stealing her knife? You know what might have happened? They might have, like, found her, knocked her out, and because of how her brain is, she'd forgotten when she just woke up in her house like she had just fallen asleep. Or maybe they even used some sort of drug that would make it more, at least likely for her to forget all of that. So that's all very sus. What I'm thinking is they found some way to incapacitate her and that just brought her home so that she could be framed for this. And in doing so, they stole the knife and the Yodoroki Man chocolate, and they made sure, obviously, to not have fingerprints. Not leave fingerprints on them. And then they ended up taking the knife with them, but I think they ended up using the knife that Mayumi had. And then leaving the Odoroki Man chocolate so that they could frame her. So that's what I'm thinking happened. Her having been able to do this doesn't make any sense. She's not mentally stable enough to come up with such an elaborate plan, and I don't think she's strong enough to wrestle with Oda either. Probably not anyway. So that's what I'm thinking. And because of that, what I'd really, really love to do is absolve her right now by just going to her diner and just looking at her leg, but unfortunately, that's not a thing we can do right now. So where do we start? I guess we're just gonna start at the scene of the crime, because that makes detective story sense to me. And Mizuki is a new pair of eyes and a new collection of very good neurons at doing things and stuff. So hopefully she's going to be able to figure out something about this place that we have not, because she's a fresh perspective and she's smart as hell, and it's time for her to prove herself, and I'm really excited for that. So that Date can stop treating her so much. I was about to say stop treating her like a child, but she's 12. She is a child. But like the reason I say it like that is because she's certainly mature enough to be a lot older. And I think, in my opinion, if a child is that fucking smart, they should be treated like it. They should be respected.
This is where Iris and Ota almost got killed, right?
Yeah.
Gives me goosebumps.
I'm not surprised.
You scared? That's rare. You need to chill.
But
You need to get better jokes.
Especially because she's already chilling, and not in the fun way.
Oh, I understand. Chill, meaning both cold and relax.
That makes
a
it
pun
worse.
intended.
Of course, yes. Yes, Aiba, very cool, thank you.
Don't explain it, it's embarrassing.
Oh boy. I love how you don't even get the label of his name, so that, like, it's almost like he really doesn't remember Kagami's name. I have to. Yes! I went from, I'd rather not do this, to I have to continue the bit. I have to start with it this time. Especially because I love when Mizuki chimes in on this. I also really, like, died laughing the last time that Mizuki was like, leave him alone. And so I'm excited for this 3-person dynamic again. So, hey, Kagami, what's your name? I mean, hey, dude, what's your name?
Oh, wait. I remember. It was Kagami, right?
What did you say?
Oh, sorry, my fault. Must be mistaken.
No, you're exactly right. Wow.
What's the matter with you?
Sorry, I just get so emotional sometimes.
Is this the true conclusion to the Kagami saga? Date finally remembering his name?
Date? This guy is kind of weird.
You're right, Mizuki. Stay away.
Huh? What?
There are a lot of weirdos out there. If you get a bad feeling, trust your instincts and don't get too close.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
Hey.
Like, that's mean. Date's mean. Poor Kagami. At least we don't get to bully him with it. I think this might be the end of the Kagami saga, but I feel bad now because Date's literally was just a jerk there all of a sudden. Although maybe he really is a little bit sketchy feeling about Kagami around Mizuki, which, as her father figure at this point, her only possible fucking parental adjacent figure whatsoever. Yeah, I get it. If it's not just to be mean. I wouldn't think Kagami would be a danger to her, but, like, I wouldn't know, right? Must be exhausted.
This might sound weird coming from me, but don't push yourself too hard, okay?
Okay, he cares. But sometimes it's like, I feel like he messes with him at least a little bit in regards to the name thing. I feel like it might all literally be on purpose, but he might actually forget sometimes. Especially because I think they might be giving him drugs that do something to his memories. Because there's been mention of drugs that he doesn't seem to know that he's being given. So that's... I really wonder what those are about, because that's probably plot important as hell.
Thank you for caring. It means a lot.
They duped me. I thought it was the end. They probably wanted you to think so. Because it was like a true character arc, and then... I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I just totally forgot.
Date, sir?
Hmm?
This is how it's supposed to be. A man like you doesn't have to remember the names of people like me.
But we're co-workers. We both work for the MPD. Isn't it rude to not remember your name?
No, not at all. It has to be this way.
You're just tired of dealing with it.
If you say so.
Does he literally forget? Oh my god. Oh my god! It's over. We'll see. I highly doubt... I feel like I should at least doubt that it's over, but what else could they do with that? Anyway, so there we go. That actually sounded like more of a serious end to that than I thought. Any leads?
No, not so far.
Poor Kagami. Especially because he's the only one still working here. He really seems to push himself harder than everyone else. Maybe he's like a head inspector or something. Maybe he's the one who has to come up with clues more than anyone else. And it seems that way, or else why would he be the only one still here right now? As far as I can tell, because... Oh, no, there are others. Okay, there's at least that other cop, too. But he seems to just be standing around right now. But he might have been still checking this area. But again, like, they probably, you know, it would have probably taken a good chunk of development time to make the officers, like, look like they're doing different things. So, because it's really the same scene, same two officers would be here, have dialogue here or whatever, so they just kind of did the same thing as they were doing before. And also, he doesn't look like he's shivering at all. And I just realized, that guy was like, I'm warm because I have this jacket, so what happened? I'm curious about that. Anyway, I feel like I've bonded with Kagami now, so I have to follow this to the end. You see each other a lot.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe in a previous life we...
Taro. You must be Taro, right?
No, I'm not Taro.
Jesus, poor... Okay, it's still going on. It's gonna still keep happening. And we're still gonna keep seeing Kagami, right? I'm pretty sure. Do you like it letting work?
Well, I don't dislike it. Of course, depending on the case, sometimes it does get pretty discouraging.
And this one is probably pretty discouraging, but at least no one died in this case. At least in this, case of this case?
But that just makes the job all the more important, right? It means it really makes a difference in the world.
Aw.
You're a great guy.
Aw.
You should learn from him.
Ah!
Do you know why I do this job? What keeps me going?
I heard you became a cop so you could steal underwear from the gym and not get in trouble.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god.
Who told you that? I'll show them trouble.
My fucking... you know who I bet did? Renju. I bet Renju told her. That would make sense. They knew each other very well. Although it might have been before he, put her on to Date. But anyway. Spectre is looking over something. Are you cold? You do look it.
Could I have your jacket?
Ah!
Oh, wait. Never mind. That jacket probably hasn't been washed in years.
Who said I'd give it to you anyway?
Ah!
Don't disregard good intentions so casually.
Mizuki is a quick thinker. You are her father figure now. You should praise her so she matures.
What?
I don't want her to mature. She's trouble enough as it is.
Ah! She's already too smart for his own good. But she deserves the praise and the head pats and such. Please give it to her. Although you know you do give some to her, so. Anything on your mind?
The polar bear. Where did he hurt his leg?
And you know what? I bet... Oh yeah, she's already thinking through it. She's gonna come up with some... I bet when she does come up with something good, he will praise her. I think that, like... their relationship is only becoming a little bit better with each... I was about to say passing case, but just as we get deeper into the game, as far as basically just down more roots, at least down more roots that have more to do with her than the other ones.
He did get hurt, right? The boss lady said so.
Yeah.
The crane hook got stuck on the polar bear's left leg, and then when the hook got pulled out, blood sprayed all over.
Yeah, so like on the thigh, the side of the thigh of the left leg, so like, kind of a thing.
The polar bear must have been bleeding badly at this warehouse.
Except, well, mirrored in your guys' case.
That means...
I don't think she has been here before, but we'll see.
Huh? What do you mean?
This is Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. I know you said Renju doesn't own it or anything, but I thought maybe you might have seen it before.
No, not at all.
Really?
Yes, stop being annoying. Why would I lie about that?
I love her and her frickin' brain. Her beautiful brain. Her smirk brain. 5-head ass brain. Somewhere in the frozen warehouse is the polar bear's blood. Well, to be precise, the blood of the person in polar bear costume. Can't we test that blood? Wouldn't that help in some way? Especially with the technology that they've got in this universe. About the blood. Somewhere in the frozen warehouse is the polar bear. Okay, we probably need to...
Ota was down around here, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So that was his blood. Okay. So we need to find the other bloodstain, I guess.
The bloodstains there must belong to Ota.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we need to find another blood... Wait.
That's where the polar bear's leg was pierced by the hook.
Wait, really? So both of them? Wait. Both?
Date, I've analyzed the blood.
Okay, yeah, Wow. How do you do that without touch? Oh, probably another kind of imaging thing.
The bloodstain here is not from a single person.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, hold on. Is there another bloodstain? Because it doesn't seem like it. There wasn't.
2 different blood types are present. One of them is most likely Ota's, the other.
Hey, do you have DNA forensics on that bloodstain?
Of course, yeah. I already sent it to the lab to be analyzed. I'm just waiting to hear back.
Why are you waiting?
Because that blood is from Ota Matsushida's wound, right? I didn't think there was any need to rush the results.
Tell them we need it analyzed urgently. Highest priority. The culprit's blood is mixed with Ota's.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay.
You did it, Date.
Ah.
We're making progress.
Ah! I love her!
If this goes well, we can identify the criminal with a single test.
See, and she started that.
But it might take some time for the results to come out.
And she's so happy. Look at her. Ah!
No point waiting here. We might as well check somewhere else.
The way she nodded with her eyes closed made my heart go, ah!
Got it.
I love this girl, holy fucking shit. I'm literally tearing up, goddammit. I am become the Date, father of the good girl cop. He looks so cold he might piss his pants. What happened to that jacket, dude? And then it keeps you warm. Did it lose power or something? Also, why are you still here if Kagami left the scene? Like, what are you still doing here? Like, what do you need to do? You seem to have just been standing there that whole time while he was looking at the bloodstain or something, at least. Anyway, but again, like, I think that they're supposed to be assumed to be doing a bunch of stuff, but, like, they, you know, to animate a bunch of different things would probably be a lot more time and money than they might have had, or they might have felt was necessary, at least. And obviously, like, I don't know. This game is more of a visual novel style, so to just see one character's chilling and doing one thing is pretty normal. Plus, like, there's a lot of great visuals anyway, so again, it probably is a time and budget related thing. They might have wanted to animate them more, but probably didn't have the ability to. That's what I'm guessing, anyway. But it might have been intended to be like that, especially so you can always talk to the same people and they're always in the same point. Because it's like, you know, it's always like a still scene. That's like an obvious intention. Like, no one's walking around in these scenes ever. So the more I think about it, it probably might be at least an intended artistic choice in a way, but it does feel a little bit unrealistic if they're literally just sitting there doing the same thing when they're supposed to be investigating, and they're not fired yet. Okay. Bloom Park, Ikumi Shrine, Lemniscate. Oh, Lemniscate. Why is that? Oh, you know what? Oda might be there. No. He should be at the hospital. You know what? I bet Mayumi could also be at the hospital. I'm gonna try it then. Although, she seems to have forgotten that he was at the hospital. But she might have remembered? But I'm not quite sure how that works, to be honest. It's really hard to tell what's going on in my mom's brain, especially anymore. Because she can't really be coherent anymore. So I don't know if she even remembers things that are
MIZUKI!
true. She did! Seemingly. Okay, so we are hopefully going to be able to verify that she doesn't have a wound, which will be really great, because she looks pretty sus right now. But again, it makes way more sense that she was framed, because there's always been a framing, pretty much, except, well, I don't think there was... No, there was definitely deliberate framing of Iris, I think. I still don't think she did that. She looks up to Renju too much. It doesn't make any sense. But I still don't know what the truth of Renju's death is at all. In fact, the truth of any of them still have some murky things about them. And that's, I'm sure, exactly what Uchikoshi wants.
And Date.
Ota, are you okay?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I don't want to get in your way. I should head home before I cause any more trouble.
No, not at all. You're fine right here.
No, really, I should go. I'm sure that he has more fun with his friends than with me, so...
That's a little sus, Mayumi. Please... She's supposed to look sus here. She didn't fucking do it.
Thanks, Mizuki.
Huh?
You came to visit me, right?
Oh, yeah. Right.
It would be awkward to admit we are only here for the investigation.
Yeah.
I think she does care about him, but she's really preoccupied with this right now, and I think she's the type that gets particularly preoccupied with things like this. It would especially make sense if she was autistic, which has been posited before. And that lines up with her to me. Because I'm autistic, and I think I see some signs in her of the same. Is she still gonna be like an asshole? I don't know about an asshole, but maybe just wary of him, which would kind of be fair-ish. But I might as well, you know, like, he is injured and he did save Iris's life. He deserves some common courtesy. How are you?
Forget me. Are you okay?
Oh!
I passed out last night.
He's actually worried about him because of that. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm fine. I feel much better after a good night's sleep.
It sounded like you were having a nightmare.
Oof.
You kept moaning something about Reika.
I think that was a very different kind of dream.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh no. I don't think that was a nightmare, Mizuki, and for what type of dream it is, you are not old enough to know about that. I love how we haven't not even ever seen Reika from the Cabaret Club. All we know is that her name is Reika and she works at the Cabaret Club. That's all we know about Reika. And she's literally just used narratively to just push this Date's pathetic narrative. And I'm not very fond of that, but it is, I'll be honest, it is funny. There's a lot of humor that I disagree with on kind of a moral level of like, stop making fun of the person, just like let it go, but at the same time I do find it funny. That's one of those. Do you remember anything else?
No, just what I told you yesterday.
Alright. You know, if you weren't in the hospital, I would slap you upside the head so hard you start remembering things again.
Like shock therapy?
Whoa, old school. I thought Abyss was more future tech than that.
We are. But if it ain't broke, you can learn a lot from the past.
I see. Maybe you should hit him.
I love her!
No way.
Ota's pretty energetic for being in bed all day.
He's the type that gets annoying around women.
I've noticed that. About the investigation.
So, we still don't know who the culprit is?
If you remember anything at all, please, tell me.
Well, maybe that all depends. If you could get me, say, Tessa's toothbrush, it might jog my memory.
That's disgusting, dude. Like, I know you're into her, but, like, this is the perviest thing you've ever said about her. This is not doing you any favors. You started to look better than I felt like you were, and then now you've been knocked down about 7 more pegs past where I thought you were okay for a second. He just keeps digging his own grave the whole fucking game.
Are you really gonna do this in front of Mizuki?
It's fine.
No, it isn't.
Mizuki proofreads the light novels I write. I'm sure she's used to it by now.
What are you making her read?
Lots of things, like...
Wait, Mizuki, you don't have to tell him!
Yeah, I think he'll literally just kill him if he does. If she does. Oh yeah, no more Ota-related things. Thank fucking Christ. Let's just get all of the Ota-related things out of the way.
I heard that you fought off the killer and saved Iris.
Yeah, let's focus on that instead of what you just said. Just like, you forget that ever happened.
That's so cool, Ota! You have a wound of honor!
No, not really. Well, I guess a little. Calling me a hero. It's kind of embarrassing.
I didn't call you a hero.
It is a good thing Iris was saved, but he's still irritated.
Yeah, I would just summed it up. Yeah, I agree completely with this sentence.
Even more irritating than seeing cosplay in public.
Wait, what? That's irritating? Huh. Is that a Japanese thing? Because, like, if I see someone cosplaying, I'll be like, heck yeah, cool, that's a character from X, Y, or Z. Like, what? Why is that annoying? Please explain. Is it annoying to Japanese people because a lot of Westerners come over there because they're fucking weebs and cosplay? Like, I've seen this literal picture of this guy who is walking down the streets of Japan with, like, a really ridiculous cosplay on. He's got, like, a pink wig. He's obviously, like, a very otaku stereotype, but not skin color-wise Japanese. And, like, everyone that he's passing by is staring at him like, what the fuck? Is that what he's talking about? Is that common enough that it's, like, most Japanese people are like this about it? Please explain. I don't know if I'm aware of why this is a thing you just said. So, about Iris?
Have you heard about Iris? The nurse was talking about her a minute ago.
That she's still in the ICU? Yeah, apparently the surgery went well, but she hasn't woken up yet.
Hey, Ota. Next time we should fold 1,000 paper cranes to wish that Iris will get better.
Cute.
Yeah, we could even make her a life-size crane.
That would be a somewhat troublesome gift.
Very Japanese of you. So we get going?
Yeah, let's go.
I could do flavor text, but there's a lot of places to investigate right now.
Wait, you two just got here.
And I just
It's
really
okay.
want to get some more
We saw
truth.
you. Now we can
And
go.
I really want Mizuki to be more five-head, because she's already led us to a clue.
We already have Ota's testimony. It is unlikely he has any further useful information.
Right.
Where to now, Date?
Let's see.
Okay, it's still not a you're supposed to not be able to verify that she doesn't have a frickin' wounded leg. So that you keep thinking it's her. And she keeps acting sus. No, wait. Why would she stab him? No, why the fuck would she stab out... Oh, because she's not mentally sound. No. Did she maybe not notice it was him? No, she didn't fucking do this. You're not... No, that doesn't make sense. But the game wants you to think it right now. Pretty darn certain it does. I would be both surprised and not surprised if either thing is true. At this point, to be honest. Classic Uchikoshi writing. I honestly really... kind of envy as a writer his ability to make me go... What the fuck? Like this. Because I'm not really a mystery writer. It's hard for me to think outside the box enough to write a mystery game, if that makes sense. Or a mystery story. And also, I come from more of a fantasy epic type of inspiration. That's what I tend to want to write. So, I'm not really suited to this kind of stuff writing-wise, but I do like it. And maybe one day I'll take a crack at it anyway. In a more serious sense. I've already written some stuff that's at least tonally along these lines, but not really as far as a mystery. Because, like, for example, I wrote a story about a monster hunter in a modern setting where, so, you know, it's a world where supernaturals and humans coexist. So think kind of like Shadowrun, but not quite that level of technology. It's sort of a modernist setting. And I've mentioned this character before. Her name is Pfeiffer, and I've written her in many things. And I wrote a side story where she ended up killing two supernaturals that ended up assaulting a coworker and friend of hers. Basically, she ended up being framed for killing them in cold blood because there is evidence that she hates supernaturals, and there isn't a lot of eyewitness accounts of the assault actually having taken place. And if they were doing a crime, she would legally, in my world, have been allowed to kill him because it's it's her job, you know, to kill supernaturals that are doing crimes, basically. It's like on paper what her job is. So basically my fic revolved around, in court, her and her attorney proving that that was the case and that she didn't kill them in cold blood. So yeah, I've written things of this nature kind of tonally and crime theme-wise, but not mystery, you know? So, tonally, this stuff gives me a lot of inspiration, but mystery-wise, man, I don't feel like I'm five-head enough to write this shit. At least at this point. Maybe I'll take a crack at it someday. Why Bloom Park? Oh, because of the connection to the diner, maybe? It's really sus that we can't go to the frickin' diner and just fucking check on Mayumi's leg. I feel like they're doing that just so that you keep thinking it's her when it isn't. God damn it, Uchikoshi. Especially with the added susness of how she behaved when we saw her at the hospital. But anyway, yeah, I don't know where to start from here, so I guess that's why we go to Marble. I guess that's a good reason to, because that's essentially what Date does when in character he's stumped. So, might as well. Whee! And so since I'm stumped out of character, let's see if she has any input. Her bar especially seems to have really fun. I feel like these posters might be new? 12 Angry Bullets. I wonder what it is. Are these all like actual something? Like, I think these are all yaoi related, like anime or manga or things. What's on the wall? Isn't 12 Angry Men a thing? I think I remember hearing it's probably a parody of that. A reference to it, I should say. And a show about 12 men that she can fantasize about does sound like a mama thing. Anyway, what? The specials are written on the chalkboard.
Hey, Date? I see caprese on the blackboard. What is that?
It's a portmanteau for couples are crazy.
I mean, considering what the behaviors you see from a lot of couples, that seems to be not wrong, unfortunately.
It's a kind of salad.
I think it's pronounced caprice, or at least that's how I pronounce that. I might be wrong, but yeah. I don't think I've had a caprice salad, but I know they've existed. I've been aware of their existence, I mean. This is written on the chalkboard. At least there's no kind of pun. Oh, but I bet that was a joke about the other puns that have been on there. Or, pun-esque things. Like, portmanteau is a pun-esque thing, but obviously it has its own... Oh yeah, portmanteau has two words that go that are smooshed together, basically. But it's a pun-esque type of thing, because it's a play on words, that's what a pun is. Hey, it's a type of play on words just like a pun is. I think the better way to say that. Painting of Saint Sebastian. So yeah, about that injured leg thing.
Sorry, no idea.
Damn, I thought you of all people would know something.
I am an informant, but really dangerous information doesn't just come rolling in here. But I promise, I'll keep my eye out for anything.
I did kind of feel like she might know something because she was aware of that one doctor that Renju knew, and I have this feeling that that might be the dude that this person went to. Because pretty sure this is also Yakuza related, so that would make sense.
Please do.
And if I find something, you have to take a bath with me.
So she probably won't.
Absolutely not.
Oh, why not?
She horny.
Because you take up all the hot water.
That's your issue?
I promise I won't.
Is he that horny that he's like, yeah, I'll fuck a trans woman, why not? He sounds like that, yeah. Especially because she does have big boobs, you know? Anyway.
I'll even take the costume off.
It's a costume?
Mm-hmm. And I look good without it.
I love her. But he's definitely been, like, at least saying he's not interested, but actually, is he at least a little bit? Or maybe he literally just said that to be nice to her. But I like the headcanon that he's actually down for what she's offering, but not enough to really want to. Especially on the job. Be distracted by such things, because he's already distracted by such things a lot anyway. But anyway, yeah. So since we just alluded to sexual acts, how about Mizuki? About the 12-year-old that's in this fucking bar right now? Time to go? I wonder what that's gonna trigger. Cause something, right? Cause we can't go yet. Huh. I think that's gonna trigger something then, like some event that happens before we can go. We'll see. Or maybe she'll be like, wait, hold on, I heard about something else that might be a decent... Usually she's had a small fringed lead we can follow up on. I forget what it's been in the past, but I'm pretty sure it's been pretty helpful, at least in some way. At least for helping to start piece together things. Like, for example, she's the one that first made me realize that So is probably making these murders happen, at least in part to maybe cover up his financial dealings and or to continue finalizing them. But I'm not sure how most of those people relate to it. About Mizuki.
I never got to tell you, but I think she's very cute.
Sento.
I could just eat her up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, sweetie. I only really want to eat men. Oh, Date, what are you making me say?
You said that on your own.
Oh, come on. Isn't a gentleman supposed to cover for a lady's slip of the tongue?
Who is the lady Mama is referring to?
Okay. I don't like that. I thought this game was progressive. I don't like the implication there knowing she's trans, but this game's been pretty good about being, I'd say, pretty trans representative with her in a good way. But, I'm not sure about that.
Don't ask me.
Unless she's implying she doesn't really act ladylike, and not really that she's not really a woman, but, like, you gotta be careful saying that shit around trans women if that's not what you meant. Because, they're gonna think so. I do. Anyway, because they're used to getting that seriously from people that are just complete dickheads. Because they've been raised to hate everything that's different than them. And I'm just so tired of... I'm so fucking tired of discrimination. Just let people be different. Their being trans or gay or having a different skin color than you does not affect you. Stop being an asshole about it. Fuck. Anyway. So yeah, about, like, the overall murder case, let's have some about that. I have a feeling she's gonna say nothing, but then there's gonna be something she'll say.
I've looked into it, but I still don't have anything useful for you. The case is still as fresh as a young man's...
There's a 12-year-old in here. Jesus.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. Thanks for the chat, Mama.
Oh, leaving already?
I have an investigation to finish, but I'll be back.
You are so impatient, even though you take your time in bed.
They haven't actually had sex. Actually, maybe one time when Date was really drunk they did. Who knows?
Don't say things like that.
In bed? What does that mean?
Why are you saying this shit in front of a 12-year-old?
You don't need to know. Let's go.
Jesus. Okay, so never mind, I guess. Time to go was just okay, that's confusing, because usually when it's really time to go, there are still options left, but the map is available. So that's confusing how it worked the opposite way this time, but it basically is the same thing. Like, she didn't have any more for us. I didn't think so because the game was not behaving how it normally does when that's the case, but oh well. Like, that's, in my opinion, a consistency oversight that I would certainly ensure is not in my game if I were developing a game like this. I have no clue where to start, so I'm just gonna go from top to bottom right now. Because I'm not sure how most of these places have to do with the current case, except we're just looking for a person with an injured leg or any clue about one.
I remember telling you before that Bloom Park is an important part of my memories.
Yeah.
Before it shut down, I came here a lot with Daddy and Mom.
And then it's also an important part of your memories in a much more oof way. In like the exact opposite way.
They fought a lot. But sometimes they got along.
She's looking at the horse.
Whenever we were here, it was one of those sometimes days. I remember it clearly. I was just a little girl, but it was so rare to see them laughing together. That's why I remember it so well.
I'm a crit.
I remember riding the merry-go-round like this.
God, you know what's amazing? Okay, so to me, right now, she's talking about... You know what's amazing to me? I've said this stuff before, but... Like, once again, I'm about to go on a Her Maturity Amazes Me tangent, because it's really remarkable. I've only really heard, in real life, much older people who have had years to grieve saying this kind of stuff about their dead relatives. So... She's remarkable, man.
Mom was standing right next to me. She was holding me, so I wouldn't fall.
She's literally smiling about it. I'm a crit. Where was Renji when you were on the horse?
Daddy was on the outside taking pictures of me and Mom. He was on the other side of the fence with an old camera. Every time we passed in front of him, Mom and I would wave our hands.
That's cute.
We sound like a happy family, huh?
Oof.
He must have gotten good pictures.
No, actually. We tried developing them at the park, but they came out all blurry and out of focus.
That makes sense because of all the motion.
But Mom wasn't mad or upset or anything. She just started laughing. That might have been the first and last time the three of us laughed out loud together.
Oof. Hugs, 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 this poor fucking girl. No one should have to go through what she's gone through, especially this young. But if anyone can deal with it, it's her. So I'm not really worried about her, but at the same time I am, because, like, why would you not be worried about her unless you're, like, really in need of working on yourself so you can have more empathy? Or, like, if you're literally a sociopath who, like, cannot actually do that, basically. Or if there's some other thing going on with your brain that really fucking impedes empathy in a very physiological way, which I know there are things like that in several, as far as I understand. But anyway, done any other rides?
I couldn't get on many of them because I was so little.
That makes sense.
But I did ride the Ferris wheel. And the Panda ride. They're kinda tame now, but at the time they were really fun.
Wow.
I was having so much fun, it felt... wrong. Like it was too good to be true.
Oof, man, that isn't something such a small girl should have to feel, but of course she did if this was the only time that she was ever basically allowed to have so much fun. She seemed pretty aware of her parents' issues with each other at a pretty young age, which definitely seems very on par for her, because she, coupled with having to deal with all this stuff, she's obviously just been smart anyway. Holographic caution tape, whoops. She moved her head just enough that I ended up clicking on that instead, I think. That's funny. Either that or I was just on the corner of her head and I did not realize I was actually clicking on the caution tape. I didn't see the name change. It doesn't seem like she did. I think it was only with their parents. So I'm just gonna Didn't say anything as Mizuki climbed down from the horse. And she asked me something strange?
Hey, Date, how do you define family?
That's interesting. Because, like, right now she doesn't have her birth family. And right now Date is the closest thing to family she's got. I love this question for that.
Define it? You mean like being blood related?
That would mean you and I could never be family. Well, I guess that's okay.
It's okay.
This is what I think. A family is...
She's so fucking smart! I'm gonna crit.
a perfectly ordinary relationship in the most ordinary way.
Huh?
She's being so deep right now that my ass doesn't really know what she means. That speaks volumes to how immature she is. Wow.
Like, you say, I'm home, and you get a welcome home back.
I love this, and I think I agree. And that means that, yes, they're a family. I fucking love that. God, she's fucking smart. Fucking Christ. Be ready for more of that for AI 2. The entire game, probably.
Doing those ordinary things automatically, without even thinking about it, is what a family is.
I like that a lot.
That's why maybe me and Mom and Daddy weren't able to be a family.
You know what? I like that a lot. Because the idea that, like... Because there's a lot of people that grow up and don't really feel like their family is a family. In a sense of, like, family's supposed to love each other, right? You know? So, I like that definition. Because it includes people like that. The idea of being blood-related, being a family, I think, you know, if your family is dysfunctional, it gives you this idea that families are a bad thing, basically. Or at least, you know, that means that you can't have happiness with a different family because your blood-related one isn't good. And you think family means blood relation. So I really like this definition a lot. Now granted, my blood family is not near as bad as a lot that I've heard of, but I like the idea of found family a lot, which is basically what she's talking about. And I think that in a way that I have found at least a couple of people that I do consider that, and I cherish the fuck out of them. A few. More than a couple. I'm blessed, man. Hell, I would even say some of the people that chill on my streams and vidges. Hi, NPC. I don't know about family, but I know that we don't know much about each other beyond just, like, what we've talked about in video comments and streams, basically, but I consider you a friend, at least, even though we have only, like, talked via text. But we've done it enough that I think I get some things about you and you get some things about me, and we've shared some deep stuff, so I really like that kind of thing. Like, that's kind of what family means to me, is it's anyone that you are able to have that sort of relationship with whatsoever on any degree. And I also think that definitely includes online friends. Way more than a lot of people really give that credit for. A lot of older people don't really seem to understand how much you can bond with someone online. Because at the end of the day, mutual words and actions are all that are needed, and those can happen, certainly, over the internet. And more different types of them as technology progresses, too. So, anyway.
Our whole lives, we never could be ordinary. Even if I tried my hardest to be normal, it would just be awkward eventually. I got tired of trying.
But I like this a lot, because that means that she can be happier with Date than she was with them. He definitely was more fit than them to raise her. Because from what I've seen of him, yeah, he's not quite as out of her life as Renju. And I literally forgot her mother's name entirely. But, he definitely isn't as absent as they were. And I think Aiba really did mean it when she said that it was a good decision. Because she, like, you know, AI's... Because, you know, she was designed to be smart and observant. And so, she could probably see exactly how Renju is less fit than Date to raise her. So, yeah, he's not really all that fit. We've seen that. But I think he still was more fit than her parents, especially now that we're having this conversation. And I knew this kind of shit would come up here. Oh boy.
I killed them.
What?
What?
I killed Mom and Daddy.
I don't understand what she means by that.
I was never a good girl.
Oh my god. Trauma's great. It's literally on them, sweetie, although, as mature as she is, that takes a lot of understanding to, like, get to that point that you get that. She's still definitely a little girl in a lot of ways. She's very emotionally stunted. So, I guess, of course, she's like this. But intellectually, she's really fucking... I was about to say 5-head, but more like fucking infinite head. Jesus.
I didn't listen to Mom. I couldn't do ordinary things.
Oof, this... Especially that sentence right there. I have ADHD and autism, so... yeah, I couldn't do ordinary things either. I still can't. A lot of the time, anyway. So that's, that hits home. Yeah.
That's why Mom hit me.
Oof, man.
And why Mom and Daddy didn't get along. And why they got divorced.
Nah, sweetie. Although, of course, she's not gonna just take that for an answer. Oh, my fuck. Literally is not your fault at all.
Then Mom had to start working. And start doing business with dangerous people. If I was just a good girl.
Unfortunately, a lot of kids... have gone through this kind of shit. It's great. It's wonderful. I'm glad at least Dante can be there for her. And that Aiba can help guide him a bit.
Mom wouldn't have been killed.
Because...
all of this.
Aiba is
It's all my fault.
Because Aiba is capable of a lot more empathetic thinking at the right moments than you would think.
Why me?
Hey, haven't you had enough?
Wait, so he's actually been drinking with Shoko before.
Why me?
I'm not married, so take this with a grain of salt, but it's not just you, right? Doesn't every family have a tough time raising children?
Our child is abnormal.
Yeah, she's autistic. This is too close to my I think privately my parents might have been like this in a way. But yeah, Shoko's literally an abusive bitch. At least I finally got her name again so I can remember it, at least for a while. But her profile literally said she was a horrible person. Like, that's what it reads like. Literally her skills said lying and cheating or something. So, she's just a bad person. And what that comes with is blaming everything on other people like this. And also she hit her, so fuck you.
Abnormal?
Ever since she was a baby.
Doesn't excuse your behavior. Does not fucking excuse it at all.
No child should cry at night as much as she did.
I'm just gonna sit here and flip her off this entire time until she stops talking about this. Because fuck this. This is the exact worst kind of parent. There's ones that literally, like, would kill their child or maybe beat them more, but definitely one of the worst types I've seen, and unfortunately I've seen more examples of this in real life than I think anyone should. I mean, hell, like, in a perfect world there wouldn't be a singular example of a woman like this, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people like this. It sucks. And I'm really hoping, and if I ever have children, I am nothing like this. I will do my best to not be like this.
No child should dislike buggy rides that much. No child should ask to be picked up and hugged all the time.
You know where all these shoulds are coming from? You had a shitty childhood and you're putting it on her now. Like, that's like classic for that. Although, maybe I shouldn't even give her the benefit of the doubt about that. Maybe she's just a piece of shit. She would have had a great childhood.
She's still abnormal even now.
But, well, a lot of pieces of shit come with horrible baggage. Most of them seem to. So, you know. But they still end up acting like pieces of shit. I should clarify, when I say someone's a piece of shit, I don't mean that they're objectively awful and there's no way they could change that. And they're just like a bad person and I just label them like that. I mean that their behavior means they're a piece of shit. And if they stop acting that way, I will not call them a piece of shit anymore. But, like, she has... Everything I've seen of her, I'm glad she's dead in a way so that Mizuki doesn't have to deal with her at all. Like, that's cruel, especially because Mizuki is being... you know, sad about the loss of her, but I don't think you should be, like, but, like, I think you'd be justified if you didn't miss her at all, like, girl, like, oof, like, extremely.
Other children would have learned to clean up after themselves by now.
That's one I've certainly gotten before.
It would be studying, going to bed on time, waking up on time.
I wish I could flip her off harder than putting it right in front of the screen like this and having it be most of the freaking camera. But I can't. So this is gonna be what my camera's gonna look like until she's done being like this.
Yet why is my little girl?
She sounds like a normal kid to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, she just doesn't want a fucking child to deal with. That's what it does sound like to me. But these are things I've heard a lot of parents say, like, they again, a lot of these problems come with a child should be like this, and really, that's just on her.
Maybe the problem isn't with Mizuki. Maybe it's you.
I'm really fucking glad that he said this. I'm really glad, but she's about to go off on his ass.
I'm doing more than anyone!
Nah. I mean, as far as beating her, I don't think Renter's doing that. But as far as actually parenting her, no. That's not what I heard from the horse's mouth itself, aka Mizuki herself. So no. Egotistic piece of fucking shit. Again, I'm glad she doesn't have to deal with her anymore. Mizuki, I mean.
Our child is stupid, brain dead, abnormal!
Oh, dude, fuck you. Did she literally call Mizuki brain dead? She's not just an asshole, she's stupid. Have you fucking actually seen her? No, because you ignore her existence until you're angry at her and then you beat her. Fuck you! I didn't get a chance to hate her this. I know she was a bad person. That's been clear, but like, fucking Christ. I don't think I've ever been this glad a character that died so early in the game is dead.
Date, honey, you can't work her up like that.
Why do I have to talk to this woman anymore? Fuck you, and not listening to any more of your asshole shit. Do you want to not?
What? What?
Because you're drunk.
I finally get some time to myself, and you want to end it?
Because you're too drunk. And you're probably gonna go beat her when you get home anyway.
Date, really? Just let her talk a little longer.
Mama's too fucking kind. I guess it's good for her professionally, but she does not deserve to be able to badmouth her daughter like this. Yeah, Dante's a way better person than... Honestly, like, since he's had this talk with her, I'm surprised, man. Okay, holding my finger like this is making it tired, so... I'm done for the moment, but, like... I wouldn't be surprised if something made me do this again. Well, not made me, but I would do it of my own volition. And that's exactly her problem, is she doesn't even have that correction. She just thinks it's all her fault, and she literally is one of those people. I've seen many examples of this, and I think I've also been this, because I think it is honestly very human, unfortunately. But it is something we can grow out of, and that we should. But that whole thing where, well, basically what a lot of people call it is victim mentality or learned hopelessness, where you're just in this state where you think that everything is fixed and you can't do anything to change it, so you take it out on everything else. And that's never as true as anyone ends up thinking. Because our brains are far more malleable than we give them credit for. Or the ways of thinking about the same goddamn shit are so much more malleable if we do the inner work. But it's a lot easier, and oftentimes it feels like the only solution until you start digging a little bit deeper. And you have to want to at all, and if you don't think you're the problem whatsoever, you will not. And that's when you get people like this, who just continue hating everything else besides themselves more and more and more. Yeah, there's probably a lot of reasons people wanted her dead, and I'm kind of glad she got her just desserts at this point. I mean, granted, she was also literally a criminal. I feel like I keep having to reiterate that her fucking bio said that her skills were lying and cheating. She was just a bad fucking person. And here she is calling her daughter all these horrible things. Like she's the problem. And honestly, my parents were like that with me too. But at least, I don't even think my mom was like her, but more than I'd want to know that she was. For example, she did physically abuse me sometimes. She's kicked me before, she's pulled my hair before, but... I don't think she was quite as bad as Shoko, although maybe it's some kind of Stockholm Syndrome thing. Also, my mom also had a drinking habit. So, the more I think about it, she obviously also thought about me like this too.
I quit my job for that girl. I threw away the career that I built with my own hands. I raised my child at the expense of my own life. But one little slap
Are you hitting your kid?
Yeah, thank you.
There's nothing I can do. I have no choice.
You lying piece of fucking shit. Go die. Thankfully you did. Okay. I'm sorry. Not to her, but I'm sorry that anyone even heard that, because that might be triggering to some people. That's the only reason I'm sorry for saying that. Fuck you. I'm glad you're dead. Go fucking... Oh my god, I wish you could die again more horribly. Fuck you, Shoko. By the way, I only do this to fictional characters. I tried my best not to do this to other people in real life. And I think that doing this with fictional characters when you want to is a good way to vent those kinds of frustrations in a way that does not hurt people in real life. Because there's so many situations where few shitty words or actions at someone that might have nothing to do with how you're feeling could fuck up their whole day, or their whole week, or their whole life, and make them want to kill themselves. Who the fuck knows? I wanted to clarify that. I don't want people to hear me say this shit and think it's okay to do this to people in real life no matter how they are. I'm doing this because this is a fictional character who is clearly written for you to hate. And I do hate her. I hate people in real life too, but I'm not gonna say shit like this to them, or about them. I've learned my lesson about that because I've done it before, and I've seen the consequences, oftentimes about people that have nothing to do with me, or what was making me mad.
I know you should never raise your hand to a child.
But I just excused it anyway, because I'm a piece of fucking shit.
I know that. I know that.
Here comes the but.
But I have a good reason.
No, you don't. There isn't a good reason. Sorry to break it to you, but there is no good fucking reason for that shit.
She doesn't listen to me, so what else am I supposed to do?
And that is coming from someone who has in the past hit people out of anger. I'm not proud of it. I had some gigantic fucking issues. I'm not saying that it ever really is. I'm not even saying that it's always the person's choice. But what I am saying is you should try to do something about it and not be like her about it. And I'll be honest, I kind of was like her about it at a point. I'll just tell you the story. There are times when I would hit my dad first, and then he'd hit me worse. And I think that's some bullshit on his part, and he would also defend himself like you did it first, and like that excuses hitting me harder than I ever hit him. Which I don't think it does. But I would hit him first because of how much he would make me feel like a piece of shit when he was angry. Often it's because he was not listening to me and not conceding on something that I felt like I absolutely needed from him. So I've hit him sometimes because of that. The only reason I really brought that up, other than to just vent, was to just say that there are times where you feel like you have no choice but to hit someone else. I think everyone's been there. I think everyone's regretted it. I hope so. Unless you have something really, really seriously actually wrong with your brain. So, you know, she does, for sure. Yeah, this is one of these mothers, you know, and unfortunately I think we've all heard about someone like this. There's a pretty common dynamic where mothers feel like they're saddled with children, and like they have sex and all of a sudden they have a child and they're expected to stay home and raise them because that's what women are supposed to normally do. Then they just feel stuck and then they resent the child for that.
What the hell do you mean, what am I supposed to do? That's no reason to hit a child.
Thank you, Date. See, this is why you're a way better parent, because you know what, I bet Renju didn't have this conversation with her, because he was afraid to. I can almost guarantee you that.
So of course she starts crying, and it's so irritating that I have to hit her again to get her to stop.
You know, it's almost more angering to me that she just completely ignored that, instead of even acknowledging it, even with a rebuttal, because she knows that, right? She literally said it. Have to. See, this is the kind of language those people always use, man. And like, actually, no. I sort of kind of feel bad for her a little tiny bit, because I've been like this. But only with this sentence. Because sometimes it feels, like I just said, it feels in the moment like you have no choice but to be violent or aggressive in some other way. But you know what you need to do when you feel like that? You need to go to fucking therapy instead of drinking. And again, I'm saying this as someone who... It took me until I was like 27 to go to therapy. Do not wait that long, people. It's really hard to go to therapy. There's a lot of reasons why it is. Financially, feared, blah-de-blah-de-blah. all these ideas that it just doesn't work or it's bad just because you've not had a great experience with therapists. Just, yeah, it's helped me, can probably help you, is all I'm saying.
Why are you crying? If you're gonna cry, why didn't you just listen to me in the first place?
This woman has zero empathy. She should not have a child.
Then I wouldn't have to hit you. Stupid Mizuki. Stupid girl. It's not my fault.
Fucking God. There's people that think like this in real life, and it's just really sad.
Everything is her fault.
Have you talked to Renju about this?
I'm trying. I'm trying harder than anyone. Why doesn't anyone see that? Why doesn't anyone understand?
Because, hitting a child isn't something to understand, it's something to fucking fix! Yeah, cry me a river, go fuck yourself.
Date.
Yeah, I'll talk to Renju about this.
Why the hell? I mean, that's just how she is with everyone, and I envy that ability to be like this. But because I had a mother that's pretty close to her, that's probably why I got like this, and I'm sorry if I re-traumatized people or just shocked you and maybe just made your day a little worse by going off like that, but I think that videos like this about such an emotional game should be a place for the Let's Player to, you know, let loose feelings that are similar, and it helps me.
It was my misunderstanding.
What do you mean?
Yeah, this sounds like exactly the kind of enabling ass husband that of course she had, yeah. I figured it was something like that, like I said, like I alluded to that earlier. Because I'll be honest, my dad was kind of like that too.
I thought that mothers love their children unconditionally. But some mothers just can't do that. Well, no. Maybe she does love her.
I don't know, man.
But she has a hard time of it.
But maybe.
Shoko was never hugged by her mother.
I figured that too, but that doesn't excuse shit. Like, if you get to this point, you need therapy, but unfortunately there's just a lot of people that just never fucking... There's just way more stories about real mothers like her and fathers than I feel like there ever should have been. I think there should have been zero, but unfortunately, humans are too complex for that.
Not because her mother wasn't around. She was raised to never develop a sensitivity to affection. No hugs, no piggyback rides, nothing.
That makes a lot of sense! Renju is too fucking understanding, dude. Like, just like Mama. Like, no wonder she ended up like this. The people she had around her were so enabling. No wonder she ended up like that, without getting help.
Maybe that's why she doesn't know how to love Mizuki. When an animal raised in captivity gives birth, sometimes it just doesn't know how to raise its young.
She does not deserve you, dude.
It's just like that.
But that doesn't mean she's blameless in all this. Someone has to put a stop to it.
If I could have, I would have done it a long time ago.
What about counseling?
I did recommend that.
Yeah, someone like her ain't gonna do that.
She told me, I'm not sick. Why should I go see a doctor?
I didn't fucking think so.
Mizuki is the problem. Mizuki is the sick one.
That kinda his indirectly. Because this is exactly the kind of relationship dynamic that makes a mother like that. You know what? This is probably why that happened to begin with.
No, Mizuki would never leave Shoko. She wouldn't hear of it. Mizuki and Shoko are practically attached at the hip.
Wait, really?
Even with all of the hitting?
Yes. Even if she's abused on a daily basis, even if she's treated like garbage, maybe. Mizuki is hungry for love. She craves praise and attention and physical affection. She wants it from her mother. That's why she's so attached.
This poor girl. Yeah, and she never got it, so no wonder she's like this about it right now. I mean, like, you know, back in the future from here. Especially because he's gone too. I'm not gonna voice these because it doesn't feel right. Does that make any sense? I'm sorry if, like, you're losing context for this. But I think the questions are... No, okay, I will voice this. Couldn't you step in and take over the parenting?
I have a company now.
Lemniscate.
And we're at a crucial stage of development.
That's the other thing. Not only was he enabling, he also is one of these fathers. He's definitely better than Shoko. By a good bit, because he actually has fucking compassion. But,
I can't take even a single second out of my day to deal with a kid.
Hey, that's your daughter you're talking about. Maybe because you two can't cooperate on raising a child, Shoko is having trouble coping.
well, yeah, again, he was partly to blame. Yeah, no, he is better to raise her than this. You know why I'm saying that? Because, look at what he's saying. I think that's why Aiba said... I think this conversation is at least partly why Aiba said what she said earlier. When she was like, I think he made the right decision by giving Mizuki to you. I think this is what she meant by that. Because he has the foresight that they do not about this. That Renju doesn't, I should say. Mizuki should not have Shoko, and Renju did not have the foresight to pull her out of that situation.
That might be it. Maybe this is partially my fault.
Yeah, it is, but it's more hers. It's more Shoko's. But again, this kind of stuff is always subjective, and I don't think you get a lot from blaming one side of anything. I think you honestly lose an opportunity to grow if you... Like, you know how a lot of people will, and I've never understood this, even though I also get caught up in it sometimes. Because I think it's a tendency of the human brain thing. Unfortunately, but... You know how there's a lot of celebrities that will have drama, and then you'll watch videos about it or something, and then you'll scroll down into the comments, and there's a lot of comments, and most of them are usually, yeah, this person's in the wrong. And then that's basically the whole point of what they say. And there's thousands of people to do that, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, I just don't think that's a good thing to do.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna say it. You two are both awful parents.
Yeah, this is why he's a better one for her. Right the fuck here. Because I do agree, but I would say he's a better one. But I also agree. Because guess what? My dad was also kind of like this. In both ways. Career and enabling my abusive mother. Because she was. And he was sometimes too. He got angry enough, rarely, that he would hit me. Yeah.
I knew about the whole thing. That's why 4 years ago, I decided to start taking care of Mizuki.
I thought it was more of Renju asking, but this also contributed to it. That was earlier. Huggy, 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 huggy. She deserves even more hugs than I thought she did now.
Mizuki, you did nothing wrong.
Thank you. Not that she's gonna understand that. You know what? She really does remind me of myself, and maybe that's why I'm getting so attached to her. Because I have also been unraveling similar dynamics in my own head to what she's got. I feel like Uchikoshi's really fascinated with psychological problems and trauma and things like that. Especially because, I mean, think about this game and everything about it. The fact that it has to do with dreams. There's a very big psychology lens to this whole game. There's a really big science lens in general to Zero Escape, but psychology is a huge part of it, so... He's always been really interested in that, and I think he's really fucking good at looking at how this kind of stuff plays out in reality, and then writing it in a way that's realistic but true to the characters, because this shit is, like, really hitting home for me. And several things in Zero Escape did the same thing. Just good writing, man.
Don't blame yourself.
Because, like, literally, this whole idea of I'm at fault, and also just this... I also feel like I am intellectually pretty up there, but emotionally, I've really been slowly having to get up there more, so... Yeah.
It's not your fault. Not one single thing was your fault.
Huggy! It took me a while to realize that I am intellectually pretty up there. I used to think I was dumb for a long time. And you know why I bet it was? Because just like fucking Shoko, I was also called stupid by, more or less, by my mom, by teachers, you know, because I have a different brain and that means I'm dumb to a lot of people. And unfortunately, that's just how that works. A lot of neurotypical people do not get it, to the point where if you mention you have autism, they assume a lot of shit that ain't right. And I also have ADHD, which adds a whole wrench into the works of a different kind. Because, for example, I have autistic friends that I've met and that I love, but a lot of them get frustrated at me a lot because they don't have the ADHD part of things. When you have both sides of this, it's a thing, man. I think she just has the autism part, but yeah. It would make sense. Even if she doesn't, she's definitely different, no matter what that means. But autism makes a lot of sense for her. Especially with such an odd and extremely passionate interest, like raising Cleone. That sounds very autism to me. My special interests are a little bit more... I feel like they're generally a little bit less eclectic, but there's also some pretty eclectic things that I get really into. But they come and go a little bit. I mean, I do get really wrapped up in specific, rather obscure games a lot of the time. And I do like researching a lot of things that I just get casually interested into. But anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going down the list. Let's bring her somewhere that's not gonna bring up these kind of memories anymore, because I think she needs a break from all that.